Hello, children. Have you ever seen a tiny baby floating in a basket on a river? That sounds impossible, doesn't it? But long ago, something like this really happened. And that tiny baby would grow up to become one of the greatest leaders in the Bible. Long ago in Egypt, there was a king who was afraid of the Hebrew people. He gave a very cruel order. Every boy baby born to the Hebrews must be taken away. But one brave mother loved her tiny baby very much. She hid her baby carefully and kept him safe as long as she could. But the baby could not stay hidden forever. So his brave mother made a small basket and placed the baby inside. Very gently, she set the basket among the tall reeds in the river. She trusted that God would protect her little baby. And nearby, the baby's sister quietly watched to see what would happen next. Soon, something surprising happened. The daughter of the king of Egypt came down to the river to bathe. And as she walked along the water, she noticed a basket floating among the tall reeds. Curious, she asked her helpers to bring the basket to her. When she opened it, she saw a tiny baby, and her heart was filled with kindness. The girl then brought the baby's mother to the princess. The princess said, "Take this baby and care for him for me." The mother's heart was filled with joy because she could take care of her own baby again. She gently held the little boy and promised to keep him safe. And so the baby grew strong and healthy under his mother's loving care. As time passed, the little baby grew bigger and stronger. When he was older, his mother brought him back to the princess. The princess welcomed the child and decided to raise him as her own son in the palace. She gave him a special name, Moses. Moses grew up in the royal palace of Egypt, but God had a very special plan for his life. As Moses grew older, he began to see the suffering of his people. Many Hebrews were forced to work very hard as slaves in Egypt. When Moses saw their pain, his heart was filled with sadness. He wanted to help them and protect them. Even then, God was preparing Moses for a very important mission. One day, while Moses was in the desert, something amazing happened. He saw a bush that was on fire, but it was not burning up. As Moses came closer, God spoke to him from the burning bush. God told Moses that he had seen the suffering of his people in Egypt, and God chose Moses to help lead his people to freedom. And so Moses grew up to become a great leader chosen by God. God used Moses to help his people and guide them to freedom. The tiny baby who once floated in a basket had a very special purpose. This story reminds us of something important. God watches over us, and He has a beautiful plan for our lives, even when we cannot see it yet. This story also teaches us something very special. When Moses was just a tiny baby, his life was in great danger, but God was watching over him all the time. God protected Moses, guided him, helped him grow into a great leader who helped many people. Sometimes in our lives, things may look scary or confusing, and we may not understand what is happening. But just like Moses, we can trust that God is always with us. God cares for us, protects us, and has a wonderful plan for each one of our lives. Thank you. Amen.